Hello, good morning,
Hi.
everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's session under our Igniting Minds program, Life After the Boards, Understanding Today's Student Mind. If you are watching this, chances are you have just stepped out of one of the biggest chapters of your life. That's class 12. It's just behind you now. And honestly, that's not a small thing. 12 years of structure, routine, exams, and suddenly a completely open road ahead. It's exciting. But if you are being honest, it's also a little overwhelming. I'm Ragni, and I come into this conversation as a psychologist, a counselor, and an educationist. My focus today is going to be on the mind, the pressure, the comparison, the expectations, and everything quietly running in the background of students' head right after class 12. So joining me is Vasim, a yoga therapist, who will bring in today the body and breath side of the same picture. Because emotional well-being and physical well-being were never really two separate things to begin with. So settle in, keep an open mind, and let's begin.
Thank you. Namaste. Good evening. Welcome, Raghavi ma'am.
Thank
So
you.
I think this is also welcome again, by the way. I think this is also a nice topic today we are discussing about, and also a important topic. So we are discussing about. So okay, let's start with me. I have some questions, and I'll start with the questions for you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first question is, until the class 12th, life had a syllabus and someone always telling you the right answer. Okay. The
Right.
moment result came out, the entire safety net disappeared overnight. Like it's a magic to disappear. So the
Right.
question is, what actually in a student minds that instant school life ends and the real life begins?
Right. Okay. For 12 straight years, if you think of your school life or my school life, for the 12 straight years, someone else designed the entire day for a student. A bell rang, and it was time for maths. Another bell rang, it was time for lunch. Someone
Agree.
somewhere had already decided when to study, when to rest, even when to eat also. The lunch breaks, I mean to say. So most students never even notice how much that structure was holding their life together until the day it disappears. So when people ask what actually changes the moment class 12 ends, the easy answer is freedom. This is what the people expect. After 12, you're a free bird. This is what generally people say, either me, you, or whoever it is. And yes, there is a freedom, but no more uniform, no more fixed timetable, no one watching over their shoulder. But if you sit with a student in the first week after results, what shows up under the excitement is something much closer to disorientation. Because whatever they have followed all these years, now they got stuck. They don't have any direction to follow now. So for the first time, there is no single right answer written in a textbook because there are so many options right in front of them. So I would like to say, at that point of view, they just need the patient levels to understand what is going to happen for the future. So they need to accept the reality. I would like to say there is no teacher to check in which and ask, am I doing this correctly? The student becomes the one who has to decide what is correct, even means now. I mean, whatever is selected by the teachers, whatever they have followed now, there is a support, there is a guidance. At the same time, there is some judgment also. But now they don't find anything as such. So this feeling itself deserves to be, I mean, it has to be normalized to accept the fact. Because so many students quietly believe something is wrong with them when they feel lost in the space. Obviously, it has to. Waking up at a little rather than planned. I mean, all these days in the school life, they used to have a timetable when to wake up, when to get ready, and when to start the school. But now, nothing as such. So they don't. There is no planning saying I'll start tomorrow until tomorrow turns into next week. But I would say this is not laziness. This is disorientation. The structure that held the students' life together for 12 years came down overnight, and no one ever taught them how to build a new one for themselves. So, what genuinely helps here is much simpler than people expect. Instead of trying to build a perfectly disciplined 10-hour a day routine overnight, a student can start with one small anchor. It could be waking up at the same time every day, a short walk before checking the phone, or reading for half an hour daily before anything else takes over the morning. That one repeated anchor becomes the frame the rest of the day can organize itself around. That's what I really feel. At this core, at this core, this page was never really about freedom or the absence of the structure. It is about learning to create structure for oneself. It can be anyone. So a skill that carries a person through every uncertain phase of life, not just this one. That is what I can say.
Yes, I think I can agree with you, and I think this is the great way to see the perspective of this era of student, because I also remember when I passed the 12th, it feels like a fascinating, we are planning to the college, the fascinating world. But this is also a right point of view to, we this is the chance to create a disciplined life for our oneself, and work in a genuine way. So yeah, I think nice. And the second question is also connected to the first question, and this is often in India, I think this is very common. So the question is, the parenting often push towards what feels safe,
Okay.
it's like the engineering, some medicine, or maybe a stable job or a government job. But
Right.
while students are drawing to they are very newer in this uncertain paths. When a parent ideal of success doesn't match with the child own dreams, this is the main concept. So how should that conversation actually goes between the parents and the students, or maybe the son and daughter? How the this conversation actually goes? There is a lot of conflict between parenting and the child at that time.
Right. Absolutely. And just not in India, we could see this in the foreign countries
Yeah,
also,
yeah, also,
generally.
yeah.
But mostly I agree with this. There is like expectations from the students. In foreign, by hook or crook, you have to do this. Okay, nobody follows that. After 14, they have that freedom.
Yeah.
But coming to India, at least that pressure will be there to follow the hierarchy or to take this ancestral things forward, the legacy ahead. We Indians follow that. I agree with that. So generally, the parents often push towards what feels right for their kids. And according to the boom also, like during my time, I was pushed as this was the boom era for engineering. So it was not about your interest. Do you like it or not? That is secondary. But whatever
Hmm.
the boom is in the society, definitely people will look into that. So yes, now I could recollect that. So it can be engineering, it can be a medicine, or it can be any stable job. And it's really about control for its own sake. I mean, very often the pressure comes from parents' own memory or not having options because they have very limited. But nowadays we have many. Many grew up in homes where money was not, or where one wrong decision meant real hardship. So they don't want that to be repeated for the next generation. That is what is their expectation. So when a parent insists on a stable career for their child, what they are really saying underneath of all of it is, I don't want you to struggle the way I did. This is what even my dad used to say. So it is the fear that wearing the costume of love and recognizing that distinction changes how a student can respond to it. That does not mean a student has to simply give in and follow the safer path anyway. It's not like by hook or crook, but 80%, I can say 70 to 80%, there is a chance. But it doesn't mean that one conversation needs to happen differently than most students attempt it. So walking through that and say, I mean, walking and saying, you don't understand me or this is my life, stay out of it, almost always backfires because it confirms that very fear the parent is holding that this decision is impulsive. What works far better is coming prepared. So bringing research showing that the field has actually been taught though. I mean, thought through it. I can just say being honest about the risk and being able to describe what the first 2 or 3 years could realistically look like. It also helps to ask for one specific thing before the conversation even begins. Can you listen first before responding? Or parents respond very differently once they hear it first. When you put up your expectations or whenever you put your interest right in front of them. So rather than the discussion, it rather than the confront and all, it becomes more of like demanding that. So that should not be the scenario. And this works in the both ways, not just the parents, not just the student. It has to be vice versa. They need to have that rapport. A child choosing different path doesn't mean that they are rejecting their family's values. It's not so. Or it should not be like the sacrifices that were made for them. Whatever they have faced, they try to impose that on you. But it doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice that or you are not giving the value to the family. So it simply means the world they are stepping into looks different from the one their parents stepped into. So most parents are not trying to crush the dream. They were looking for proof because they always want the child to be in the safe zone, that the child will not fall without a safety net. When they get that clarity, when that proof is offered calmly and patiently, these conversations shift far from often than people expect, I think.
I think the understanding between the parents and student is also the important in this condition.
Right.
Because I agree, मतलब जो पेरेंट्स उस टाइम पे बोलते हैं कि ये कर लो, बिकॉज दे अफ्रेड कि उनके टाइम पे वो चीजें नहीं हो पाई थी, या फिर वो स्टेप उनके, बिकॉज वो उनका खुद का एक्सपीरियंस है.
That's
बट पेरेंट्स को भी सोचना चाहिए कि इतना ज्यादा नहीं बोले. दे हैव अ राइट टू गिव अ डायरेक्शन टू डिसीजन, बट नॉट इन अ फोर्सफुली वे. एंड ऑल्सो स्टूडेंट्स और बच्चों को भी उस लेवल पे समझना चाहिए that they have a
hmm,
own sense to कहाँ जाना है, because I believe that generations are changing in a very far way, you know. Even
that's
10
true.
साल पहले और 10 साल बाद, it's completely
Hmm,
different. Even this time in 2026, after 10 years, you can't
very
imagine
drastic.
what the generation have.
That's true.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So the generation, one more question. So
Yeah.
today students have more career options, more countries, they have the more more career path options to the
Hmm.
generation. Even no any generation have before that. But the students actually better off with all the choices, or has just I quietly turn into the different kind of stress or pressure? What do you think?
Hmm. On this surface, Wasim, today's students appear to have it far easier than previous generations. Whatever we used to get, whatever our parents used to get, what our next generation is getting now. When you compare these things, Zen Alpha, what they are receiving it now, what Gen Zs have received, what Gen X have received, what the Bloomers have received, entirely it is different. Generation by generation, as the time pass on, there is variation, drastic variation. So in many ways, that is true. There are more courses now, more universities abroad, more unconventional career paths that did not even exist 15 years ago. So a student today can become a UX designer just with the help of an AI, a sustainability consultant, or a podcast producer. Careers that parents would not have had words for. They never heard of or they don't know how to address it. But we have come up with such names now, so interesting, and at the same time the technology is such a way they have everything is in their hands now. So but there is part of this that does not get talked about enough. More option does not automatically mean less pressure. See, when you have all the options doesn't mean that you don't have the pressure, right? When you have more options, obviously you will have more pressure. For many students, it creates a different kind of pressure altogether because there is no longer a single obvious path to follow like previously. In our past generations, there are only 4 5 subjects. So obviously they have to opt only that. It can be a career or it can be a subject. But now there are n number of subjects, n number of paths. So when only 3 or 4 acceptable careers existed before, now the confusion has started because the confusion was at least limited. That I can say. Now with 100 paths open, students are left constantly wondering if they are choosing the right one. Obviously, they will be in a dilemma whether to choose this, or what has to be next. So comparing themselves with the peer also. If I take this, what would be my sibling be taking next? Definitely, there will be an influence from them. At the same time, with the peers also, it can be friends. We always look for them. What my friend is doing, where is he joining, what course is he taking? This type of questions are very common in everybody's life. I think you agree with that, too.
Yeah,
And I
actually.
was saying,
Even
so
even in this our generation also, from if you calculate like last 5 years, the AI develops so much.
right,
Even I can't imagine for the next 5 year where we are. It's
right,
like a different imagination because इतनी speed से वो generation transfer हो रहा है with the help
right,
of AI.
absolutely.
I never imagined that this kind
Hmm.
of things, even for example, AI is writing anything, whatever you want. AI is
Right.
designing, AI is coding faster than any team ever could.
Hmm.
For the student, even I have a question for this also. For the student choosing a career today, there is a quite fear for every career path. Will
Okay.
what you are studying right now, is this matter from the next 5 year or not? This is also a
Definitely.
pressure.
Okay. Before I think I get into this, again, I have to go back to the previous question which you have asked, because there are, I mean, we need to know about this thing also. There is an important layer often left unspoken. Not every student begins from the same starting point. Like whatever you have started, I may not start with the same point. Like whatever I start, it may not be same for my brother. So a
Correct.
student in a large city with informed parents, reliable internet, and access to mentors is making choices for a very different position than a student in small town. It obviously, the urban people, the rural people, definitely there will be a variation. So without anyone nearby who have even attempted some of these newer paths, so it will be difficult for them. So while the opportunities are for everyone, may look equal on paper, the access to guidance is, I mean, we need to find it very rare. So are today's students better off? I don't know. It's a question to me itself. Genuinely, yes, at times, but only when the opportunity is paid with the right guidance. Opportunity without direction becomes always noisy. It's always a comparison that builds the anxiety. So opportunity with direction becomes one of the most powerful advantage for the young person that that anybody can have, I feel. So for any student feeling overwhelmed by too many choices right now, the most useful step is not evaluating every option available, but finding one or two trusted people, a mentor, a counselor, or any guide who is their well wisher also. So, even an older student at times, a few steps ahead, they can walk with you, who can help filter that noise down to what is actually relevant. This is what I feel. And coming to your question, as nowadays the AI is writing, yes, decoding, it is designing. So, for that, this fear deserves to be taken seriously, according to me. When I see my kids also, I take it very seriously. I cannot brush it aside. The artificial intelligence is generally changing industries faster than the people know how to respond to. It can be writing, it can be
Agreed.
designing, it can be coding. An analysis that used to take entire teams. I mean, entire teams weeks to complete. They take weeks to complete it. But now, when a student says, I'm scared that what I'm studying right now won't even matter in few years, this is what generally people say.
Yeah.
Because whatever they are doing it now, the reading part or the work they are doing it, that could be done in fraction of seconds. The work they do, it can be a coding and all. So they think that there is no point of giving much time in, or investing much time in knowing more or doing more. So that is not an overreaction by the students, but it's a fair point from their side also. It is in fact a fairly intelligent thing that to be aware of by anyone, just not me, but by everyone, I feel. And at the same time, no one, not any expert, not no, neither on any stage, anywhere, can compromise exactly what the job market will look like 5 years from now. We don't know. Even the people who are building these AI tools do not fully know
Mm.
where there is heading. I mean, where it is going to lead to. Spending all one's energy trying to predict the future perfectly only leads to being very frozen because that kind of certainty simply is not available to anyone right now. So instead of asking what career is AI proof, nobody can say that. So which one can honestly answer is a more useful question, I feel, is what kind of a person am I becoming through what I'm learning? This is what I feel rather than just focusing on the future, what it is going to be, just try to focus on what you are learning. So, what are you going to become once you learn this? So, that skill that matters most. That is, I mean, technical side, that is what I can say. AI is quickly catching up everything. They tend to do the things we cannot, I mean, that cannot be replicated well also. It can be a judgment. If you speak to any of the AI tools, whatever is present, you could still miss the judgment, the empathy, the ability to read a room, the ability to ask a better question instead of producing a fast answer. This is what we generally do that, right? Whenever you get a question, you just type in and you get some answer from ChatGPT, Cloud, whatever the AI tools we use. But do you ever feel that if somebody is really sitting with you and solving your problem? No, I don't think so. To some extent, it can guide you, it can support you. But that the personal touch, I don't think it can give you. And the ability to adopt when everything around a person changes overnight, it becomes very difficult to accept that. So a career choice today does not need to be treated as final, unchangeable destination. Nothing is permanent in this world. So whatever is good for you now may not be good after 2 years, maybe after 3 years, maybe after 5 years. So you can change the career again. So it is a starting point, a first chapter. So what actually protects a person long term is not selecting the perfect AI proof career, I think. It is just becoming someone who never stops learning, who stays curious, and who is willing to keep updating themselves as the world keeps changing. That is what make them uh, get ready for the technology, get ready for the future generations. So that mindset is worth more than any single degree. Adopt to the things, whatever is available in the society, you just have to adopt to it. That becomes very easy.
Yes, I think we have to more focus on the present compared to the future. This is the
Exactly.
only easiest way to live right now because we
Absolutely.
we actually don't know the power of AI. And also I said we have things in our hand कि
Hmm.
हमें अच्छे वे में यूज करना है बुरे वे में यूज करना है we also know this. Or
Right.
also I'll just make a good appeal कि if you use AI, just use it very carefully because there is a very you can go and search the side effect of the environment, the UI database and the other stuff also. So we have to save in that way also. Yeah,
Absolutely,
great.
absolutely. Because it just guides you. But if even if you could see, you get the answers, you get the content. But at the end, you have to deliver it, right? See, whatever the AI is providing you, you can submit the documents. You can project it somewhere through PPT or some or the other way. But once you are asked to speak on it, then no AI tool can help you out.
Mm,
You are the one who
agree,
is
agree.
going to deliver the speech. You are the one who is going to make, I mean, you have to convince the people with your communication. That completely depends on you. You can, मतलब पूरा रट्टा मार के नहीं जा सकते ना.
Got it.
You have to convince people. That completely depends on the insights you have, the knowledge you have, and the communication you build. That is really important,
Otherwise AI makes us dumb.
right?
Yeah. Okay, so I have a last question for you, and I think this is one of the most important question for right now. If you see the scenario of what situation we have going through in this
Hmm.
place. So, what do you think? Like with so many competitive and government exams faces delays, leak papers, cancellations, and a lot of controversies things. So
Right.
how does a student stay motivated to prepare for something that they are not even sure will run smoothly? For example, I'm preparing so long for a one exam. I'm not mentioning any exam or anything, but for example, just I'm preparing for, I'll give 2, 3 years for one competitive things, and dedicatedly I am doing all the things.
Right.
But I'm not sure because of the history. I'm not sure with this chain of things of
Hmm.
exam, it's run smoothly or not.
Hmm.
So what do you think? How
I agree.
can student
Hmm.
deal with this?
The reality you're saying. You
Yeah,
come up with the reality now. This question really deserves the honesty rather than reassurance, I feel. So, the last
I'm
few years, students are preparing for competitive and government exams, and they have witnessed things that genuinely should not happen. So, it's like it can be papers postponed with almost no warning, results delayed for months, real controversies around how fairly the certain things happen being run. So that frustration, our anger is really valid. Even if in that position, definitely I'll get frustration, I'll be in the anger. So it's the voice of every student, I feel. It is just not an overreaction to that phase they feel. I mean, it's like the system that was trusted is not able to answer them at the right moment. So that is, they feel that the emotions they carry out during their preparation or during their exam, keeping the future in mind when that is not seen. I mean, once it is crashed, it becomes very difficult to accept what has happened. At the same time, it is very hard. It is very harder truth worth sitting with that the system cannot be controlled. Everybody says that we cannot change the system. Even you agree with it, right, Wasim? Because it's not a single man's game. The system cannot be controlled. Generally, people say that whether a paper is postponed or whether a process runs fairly every single time is simply outside anyone's control. It's not in your hands. It's not in my hands. It's not in administration department or it's not in any university's hand. The things happen, and when something beyond our control keeps disappointing us, we could have expected something, but it's keep on disappointing us. It becomes tempting to let that helplessness quietly seep into that motivation itself because we are done with it now. So many students find themselves thinking, what's even the point of preparing seriously if the exam might be cancelled anyway? This is what generally people think of. The thought is understandable, but it is also a trap worth recognizing, I feel. So, according to me, in psychology has a term for this that is called locus of control. Some things sit
locus of
outside a
control.
person. Yes, locus of control.
Okay.
Some things sit outside a person. The exam board decisions, the official announcements, other people's choices, because they are not in our hands. The other things that entirely within a person are the discipline, because it's under my control, the discipline, the consistency, and how seriously we show up to prepare today. This is all under my control. So the moment the motivation becomes entirely tied to the outside factors, a person hands their peace of mind over to a system that does not know their name and it's not even thinking about them at all, because whatever is under your control you can still manage it, but the things which are out of your boundary, there is no point of thinking about it. I am not saying you have to accept as it is, but I'm just trying to say that it may not happen all the time. That is what I am trying to say. So the discipline is worth building here. It's just not tied to whether the system treats anyone fairly, because unfortunately it may not always. As I always say, if there is a scam, it doesn't mean that it happens all the time, every month and every year. We need to understand that. So it is worth building because the focus, the consistency, and the person someone becomes through this process belongs to them completely. Because nobody take my hard work, what I've been through for this preparation. Whatever I've learned cannot go anywhere. If not this time, I can do it for the next time. I can appear for the second time. Think in the positive way rather than just disheartening of that phase which is not under your control. I just feel that regardless of whatever the system does or does not do, just trust yourself. keep pushing yourself, go ahead. So no postponement can take that way. You because when you are doing your work in the right way, definitely you will get the chance. No controversy can erase the version of a person built while preparing, because that is completely your hard work, your motivation. The system may be flawed, but growth through this journey was never truly dependent on the system getting it. That part stays no matter what happens, because this is all your consistency, your stability that you have built on your own. That's what I can say it for the generations.
Hmm. I, I
Well,
I I agree with you. Also, just add some few point on this
right?
because I feel I am also a victim of this.
Okay.
I'm preparing of my NAT exam, and I'm doing my masters. I'm in my first year. I'll travel to Delhi for especially for the NAT exam. I'll give my NAT
Okay.
exam, doing a 6 months preparation for the NAT exam, and I'll give my best and come back to the campus to Maharashtra.
Hmm.
And next day, I saw the news that my paper is cancelled. So I think I feel more to the victim. At that time, I decided to not giving exam anymore of this competitive exam. So
Okay.
I think
Absolutely.
people are more suffering. And also, I think for this generation, I think it's more frequent now. That's why there is a lot of protest and taking actions of why. I
Right.
don't know why the government is not listening, or I don't mention anything, but the reality
Hmm.
is reality. You know what I'm saying.
Exactly. Exactly. Hmm.
Also, or the second question is कि I agree with you. With the positive changes is the mindset is most important कि आपका हार्डवेयर का आपसे कोई नहीं छीन सकता है. You have to go attempt next time. ये कर चुके हैं लोग.
Hmm.
वो 5 साल से next time ही कर रहे हैं. But it's keep doing all the things like कभी scam है, कभी paper leak है, कभी something. So definitely, system need to be changed in education. Or
Hmm.
education is the main pillar of any
The
country
key.
growth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Through education,
Also,
we can change anything.
because why I'm talking about the system, because there is a lot of exam, we have limit of ages. In
Hmm.
UPSC exam, we have limit of age. In JEE and different exam, we have limit of age. So there is also a fear of, the people are losing the age. उनके 2 साल 3 साल एग्जाम नहीं हो पाए, कैंसिल हो गए, करेक्ट नहीं हुआ या जो नहीं हुआ. बट अब जब होने वाला होगा तब वो एलिजिबल ही नहीं होंगे अपनी एज के हिसाब से. दिस इज
Right.
दिस इज
That's true.
ऑल्सो दिस इज ऑल्सो अ वेरी बिग इशू इन द प्रॉब्लम that
Hmm.
people are not addressing, people are not accountability of not taking any responsibility. So I hope this things resolve soon for the better India and better education system in India. So yeah, this
Hopefully,
is this is my
hopefully,
point.
this concern stays with everyone. Everybody
Yeah.
has this concern. Hopefully, as you said, it has to be rectified, it has to be sorted out. And Wasim, whatever the conversation we had till now, I
Yeah.
have answered, or we have come up with such type of solutions
Yeah.
in the perspective of a counselor with some other person, somebody, any person. It can be a parent, it can be any guardian, it can be a sibling, it can be a friend, or it can be a counselor, it can be a teacher. That
Mm.
perspective, this is what our streamline was till now. But now, if I would like to ask you, being a yoga therapist,
Yeah.
you can guide the students whenever they feel something, they can do something on their own and they get some result out of. So suppose if my topic is based on exam stress and their performance, generally the students have this.
Yeah.
Initially, people are not aware of these labels. They don't even know what the stress is and all. But still, as we are evolving, we have come up with some terminology. We are keep on addressing or labeling, right? So when students often say that they study hard, but during exams, they panic. They forget everything, whatever they have studied the previous night, they have written the exam. It was asked by somebody, they performed well and they have prepared well, but still they were not able to recollect those things during the exam. So, from yoga therapist point of view, why does this happen and how can the breathing technique help them?
Yeah. So first of all, before giving the answer, I'll just give the I in my 10th exam, this has happened actually on all the exam. When I go to the classroom, I see the question paper and I am blank. मुझे बिल्कुल
Okay.
नहीं याद होता था, and it takes time to, I completely agree for your question. So but right now I can understand the mind and brain, how that works. So
Hmm.
when we are stressed, our brain, first we have to understand the brain, how the brain works. So when we are in the stress, our brain shifted to the survival mode, you know breathing become fast. There is some kinds of, you can understand how if you are in stress, so breathing become fast, breathing
Right.
becomes shallow, make it harder to recall the information of your hippocampus, to connect the hippocampus. And so
Right.
I think in the situation, this is a very workable thing, is the breathing.
Hmm.
The science of breathing is connected to the mind, and mind is connected to the breathing. So if we
Right.
are not connected to the mind, if we are not controlled to the mind, but we can control to the breathing. So what we have to do, what I used to practice, and what we have to scientific proven, is practicing the focus of natural breath or the diaphragmatical breathing. If you focus on the natural breath, your
Hmm.
breath become more calm. When your breath become more calm, your blood circulation goes calm, and your nervous
Hmm.
systems become calm. So you
Hmm.
you you can take a better action, you can recall the information at that time. But in the stress time, if you feel so anxious, so anxiety, and
Hmm.
your heart is pumping a lot of beat per rate,
Right.
so
Hmm.
you can't. So the most important thing is, our mind needs some oxygen, like a car needs some fuel to run. Our mind
Right.
needs some oxygen that time, and the oxygen gives when you good inhale and exhale. So I suggest, and I give to, you know do diaphragmical breathing just before. Just take 2-3 minutes before the exam. Just sit calm and quiet, focus on
Hmm.
your diaphragmic, and just keep inhale and focus the movement, the natural movement of diaphragmic, and just do it this 2-3 minutes, and just see, this is the magic of breathing, and you can feel calm, and you can recall, and you can take a better decision at that time, I think.
Wonderful, wonderful, Vasim. Definitely, it
Yeah.
works. That's great to know from you also.
Yeah.
And and the students, unless they implement it, they'll not get the result. And people say,
Yeah.
"अरे यार, मतलब yoga से क्या होने वाला है?" मतलब
Mhm.
I have that anxiety, I have phobia. What yoga is going to do? Because they have not tried it, they have not
बट
implemented.
बट आई रिक्वेस्ट, जो भी इस टाइम देख रहे हैं, जो भी ये वीडियो देख रहे हैं या वेबिनार देख रहे हैं, एनीथिंग, या कहीं पर भी आप देख रहे हो, आई रिक्वेस्ट, मैं मानता हूँ कि उस टाइम पे कुछ भी ऐसी प्रैक्टिसेस करना, इट्स डिफिकल्ट। माइंड
Hmm.
को कंट्रोल कुछ भी करना, अभी इफ यू आर इन एंगर, इफ यू आर इन एंजाइटी, शुड फोकस ऑन द ब्रीदिंग एंड डूइंग समथिंग। इट साउंड्स इजी, बट डूइंग इन द रियलिटी एट दैट स्टेट ऑफ माइंड, इट्स डिफिकल्ट. So I request, just try and experiment yourself at least a one time and see the result,
Yes.
and then you
So
can habitually created these things in your life.
absolutely, absolutely, Wasim. The
Yeah.
students who are listening, as said
Yeah.
by Wasim, please try to implement on yourself. As you said, it's an experiment. Definitely, you'll get a good result.
Yeah.
It's not trial and error, but definitely you'll get the result out of it. Just focus on just focus on yourself and your breath. That is what he is trying to say.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wasim. As you mentioned,
Hmm.
during these exams, just not the stress will come across the anxiety also. It can be thinking about the present or about the future, it may be. So as we are connecting the dots of the class 12 I mean, just after the class 12, many students feel anxious because of the competitions around them or the career choice they have, the opportunities they have, the challenges they are going to face, because they could have heard from somebody else, right? And the fear of the failure, obviously, whatever we do, it cannot be successful all the time. So, knowing all these things, the success, the failure, the opportunities, the challenges, or the competition, whatnot. There are so many things. So how can yoga help them to manage this uncertainty, the choice of selecting the right one for them without being overwhelmed? How can they do that?
So I think, what I do in myself, or what I give suggestion to the, I have a lot of client that they can feel, and I can sense the anxiety about the future, anxiety about the career, anxiety about the anything, and there, you can't tell to anybody, but you can sense by the face, you know so anxiety comes from the trying to control the future all the time. So yoga teaches us to focus on what we can control. And once again, we can control our breath, we can control our efforts, we can't control our thoughts, because our
Hmm.
mind default, it's making a thought in a second of thousands of thoughts, and only a few thoughts we can involve and keep thinking about this, keep overthinking and creating anxiety and anxious. So what we can control, we control our breath, we control
Correct.
our efforts, and the daily routine is the most important key. I think if you start controlling and focusing on your breath and doing some pranayama in the daily routine, because this is not a quick journey,
Hmm.
you know. It takes time to change and implement for the long term period, but you have to start at least for a 5 minute in the morning, at least for a
Right.
10 10 minutes. Just give 10 minutes, starting from the 10 minutes. Just wake up and you can focus on yourself, you can try to see within yourself, and you feel more calm, you naturally you have a lot of answer. because बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी हैं जो हम बाहर ढूंढने का ट्राई करते हैं, बट एक्चुअली वो अंदर ही है,
Yeah. It's
हमने
within
फोकस
us.
नहीं किया इसलिए हमें वो नहीं मिल रहा है.
Hmm.
सो द सेम थिंग, आप बातों से नहीं पता लगा सकते हो until unless you can sit, you can close your eyes and you can focus.
So you
So
mean
you
to
can,
say that what, however, the way we treat our body, the same way the body treats us.
yes, yes, it's
The
it's a
way
give
we
and
keep
take
our
relationship.
body.
Yes. The
Right.
affirmation works. Last conversation we talk about a lot of affirmations and all. Okay.
Hmm.
Affirmations is also connected the same thing. If you think about that you are gonna be late in the office, you are gonna be late, you definitely gonna be late in the office, because
Right.
you subconsciously take a message what you give. But you have to be more calm, more focused on your words. You know, you
Hmm.
have to be something inside you. The only thing, just close your eyes, focus, at least just make it a habit. When you
Hmm.
when you woke up, just sit calm and quiet. Don't do anything. Doing anything, it's easy. But doing nothing in a sitting position with the eyes closed is the most difficult task I have ever done.
Absolutely right.
Doing
Yes.
pranayama, doing breathing practice, doing this and that, and etc. etc. It's because you have activity to do something. But if I say
Hmm.
that just sit, close your eyes, and do nothing, there is a bunch of thousands and millions and billions of thoughts grabs you, और आप उसमें से कुछ थॉट्स निकालोगे, उसमें इन्वॉल्व हो जाओगे, बट देखने में लगेगा आप बैठे हो शांत, बट नहीं. So you have to be keep practicing in a daily routine, build a
Hmm.
habit, and yeah, see the magic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hmm. The peace mind, the calm mind will never gives you any wrong information to you. So always you need to give space to yourself. You need to maintain that peace in your mind to get the better results.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Wasim, because of the exposure what we have now, I don't say ki we are fluctuated, we are diverted, so on. But because of the influence, because of the exposure nowadays in the society, it can be inside or it can be outside. I meant to say about the focus in the social media that is running in everybody's mind. So the constant notifications that pops up in your mobile or the mails you see, the social media content or um, any short form content that you see when you scroll down in any of the social media platforms, many students struggle to concentrate for even to 20 to 30 minutes. Whenever we give a lecture, whenever we try to give them something important, they don't have that attention on us. They hardly have, as I said, only 20 to 30 minutes, even for studying also or for listening to any lecture. They can give only to 20 to 30 minutes, not more than that. How can yoga or pranayama help improve their focus and attention? Is it really possible? Does it really work even if they implement through these practices or exercises?
I think yes. The answer is yes. Definitely it works. But
Hmm.
before I giving the answer, I said this thing is so powerful. I'm not talking
Hmm.
about pranayama and breathing. I'm talking about the distracted mind with the short content. If someone asks me, Raghavi, if someone really asks me about the worst invention in the world till now, I
Hmm.
clearly said the small content, the reels and shorts. This is the
Right.
worst invention ever in the human history. Even people are know that they are the victim, they are the
Hmm.
product. Even
Absolutely.
sometimes I can involve and it takes 15 minutes to come back. मुझे
Hmm.
पता ही नहीं होता है कि वो 15 मिनट कहाँ चले गए. Then I can realize कि this thing's crazy and this thing's so powerful and impacting your mind. But I think constantly scrolling trains the break of, the quick rewards, because our minds are developed for the quick rewards, and these short contents give us what our minds
Yeah, the
now,
dopamine. Yeah.
the
Hmm.
dopamine and the other things. There is a lot of research. जो
Right.
हमारा पहला डोपामीन हमें यूट्यूब की 7 मिनट 15 मिनट की वीडियो में मिला करता था, वी हैव दैट पेशेंस कि हम वो वीडियो देख सकें 15 मिनट की, वो कम होते होते 3 मिनट हुआ, वो और कम होते होते 2 मिनट हुआ, वो कम होते होते 30 सेकंड हुआ. Then वो रील पहले, if you search and go back to the starting Instagram reels and other things, they have 1 minute reels eligibility, but now they have a 30-second reels, but now they have 15-second reels. People are creating because our mind, we don't have patience, our minds need a quick reaction, our minds need a quick reward to make sustainability, attention difficulties. There's a lot of attention difficulties.
Absolutely.
It's a difficult to is this if this webinar, it's like a 40 and 45 minutes, I definitely sure that people are keep skipping this and see the webinar if they want to. Otherwise our webinar is successful when it's come to the reel for the for this generation,
Right. Absolutely.
but for the breathing awareness, I think that's actually supporting and helps to, reverse the system, what we are creating to the dopamine system.
Hmm.
We can reverse it while using the breathing and focus and creating a patience on this. So it's like a mindful help training the mind stay present. Just give 5 minutes for the slow breathing. Just, I just say this, you have to make a habit in the early morning or a evening. You have to sit, you have to focus.
Hmm.
I, I'm not keep repeating the same thing in every answer, but actually you believe this is the one thing to solve all your problems.
Absolutely.
Because जो भी आप ढूंढ रहे हो सवाल, वो सब आपके अंदर है.
Hmm.
You don't do anything, just close your eyes and sit and focus on your breathing. You know, you can improve your nervous systems. There is a good flow of oxygen to the mind, improve
Hmm.
your focus, and over time you can see the changes, then that you feel more calm, more, you are not that addictive for the quick content. If
Hmm.
someone shows you, then you are controlling your thoughts and controlling your, if you feel that you want to scroll, and there's a lot of things कि I heard अभी मेंटल इलनेस भी आ चुकी हैं इसके नाम पर, दैट पीपल आर स्क्रोलिंग और उन्हें पता ही नहीं होता, वो घंटों घंटों लगे पड़े हैं. So
Right.
it's targeting our mental illness also. So yeah, the answer is you have to sit, you have to focus on your breath, you have to focus on your own God. There is no God outside.
Hmm.
You are the God, you know. We
Absolutely.
have to realize, and everything is sorted.
That's true. That's true. But how do you convince Wasim? See, as I mentioned, because of the exposure, whatever we see, or because of the influence, we have everything in our hands. In fraction of seconds, we get everything. But as you said, you need to spend time on yourself. You need that relaxation for your better understanding. Then you can make the right decisions. And as you mentioned, आपका ये जो सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम है, जो भी है, वो सब कुछ सही तरीके से काम करे. But when the students are preparing for the exams, they don't think of all these things, right? They want to finish the portion. They are in a hurry. मतलब late nights भी पढ़ लेते हैं because they have that competition in this world. Though there is a focus, they study, but still जो struggle वो लोग face करते हैं ना, they don't sleep on time. They don't wake up on time because obviously if they sleep late at night, they cannot get up at right time in the morning. So definitely there will be a disturbance in their sleep pattern. Generally, people says that students sacrifice their sleep for preparing for exams. believing that studying longer gives you the better results. That is what they say. They expect, and that is what they say. Then they try to justify that also, though it is wrong. But how important is sleep? And are there any breathing techniques that can help students relax and sleep better? Is there any specific time to do that? Because generally people say this is my reading time, this is my playing time, this is my eating time, this is my sports time. So when is the right time for a body to understand? Yes, I need rest. I need to sleep. When will the students understand this? How do you want to convince them? What are the
So,
symptoms?
yeah, the thing is, student, I think only student have, uh, for example, I met a lot of students,
Hmm.
even in my studying period or after the clients, I see a lot of, one of my friends have preparing for UPSC and something. When I go to his or her home, I see the discipline of that people. जितने भी लोग कुछ अचीव कर पा रहे हैं अपनी लाइफ में, जितने भी लोग, चाहे वो 1% लोग ही क्यों ना हो, बट जितने भी लोग अचीव कर पा रहे हैं, इफ यू गो एंड रिसर्च, जितने भी लोगों ने कुछ अच्छे कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम क्रैक किए हैं, जितने भी लोग अपनी एक अच्छी पोजीशन, चाहे वो आर्टिस्ट हो, चाहे वो स्पोर्ट्स में हो, चाहे वो
Hmm.
एनीथिंग, कुछ उन्होंने अपनी लाइफ में जो वो चाहते थे वो अचीव हुआ है। देयर इज अ बैकग्राउंड, उनकी लाइफ में डिसिप्लिन था। डिसिप्लिन फॉर योर टाइम फॉर वेकअप,
Hmm.
discipline for the time of sleep, discipline the habit of eating, and
Hmm.
discipline for the moving your body and mind relaxation. जैसे एक स्टूडेंट अपना डिसिप्लिन बनाता है कि उसे इतने घंटे पढ़ना है, फिर वो इतने घंटे खाएगा, बट दे आर,
Hmm.
द मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट आर स्टक ऑन द 2-3 पैटर्न्स। 4 घंटे पढ़ूंगा फिर खाऊंगा, और उन्होंने अपने डिसिप्लिन के चक्कर में द ह्यूमन बॉडी के स्ट्रक्चर्स का चेंज कर दिया। आई
Hmm.
आई आई हर्ड अ लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स आर स्टडिंग इन द नाइट। वो पूरी रात
Right.
पढ़ते हैं, पूरी रात
Right.
पढ़ेंगे वो, और पेरेंट्स आर प्राउड कि मेरा बच्चा पूरी रात पढ़ता है, वो सुबह उठ के भी पढ़ता है।
Right.
दिस इज नॉट थिंग्स टू बी प्राउड एज अ पेरेंट्स और एज अ फ्रेंड और एज अ थिंग। आपके दोस्त, आपके बच्चे कोई हैं तो उन्हें
Hmm.
समझाएं इस बात के बारे में, अदरवाइज योर ब्रेन इज गोना बी डैमेज एट एनी टाइम। अभी
Right.
आपको नहीं पता चल रहा है, बट एट द एज व्हेन यू क्रॉस 40-50, दैट यू कैन
Hmm.
फील कि वो कितना ज्यादा डैमेज हो चुका है। एवरीथिंग नीड अ रेस्ट, चाहे वो
Hmm.
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स हो, चाहे वो रोबोटिक्स हो, चाहे वो ह्यूमंस हो, एवरीथिंग्स
Right.
नीड अ रेस्ट। एंड वी हैव टाइम, we
Hmm.
have time for everything, so we have time for sleeping. That's why they give us scientific research now that at this to this age we need 8 hours of sleeping,
Right.
at this or
Absolutely.
this age we have 6 hours of sleeping. So we have research, बहुत सारी चीजें हुई हैं, ये कुछ भी ऐसी चीजें नहीं है कि कोई भी बोल रहा है आकर। वी हैव
Hmm.
साइंटिफिक प्रूवन थ्योरीज, वी हैव साइंटिफिक प्रूवन रिसर्चेस जो अफेक्ट होता है। तो जितने भी लोगों ने किया है, आप उनकी बैकग्राउंड स्टोरी में कभी उनके पॉडकास्ट या कभी उनके बारे में पढ़ेंगे जानेंगे, तो आपको कहीं ना कहीं कनेक्शन दिखेगा कि उनकी ये 3-4 चीजें शॉर्ट थी। आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि वो प्राणायाम कर रहे थे या योगा कर रहे थे या जिम कर रहे थे, बट किसी भी वे में वो 4 चीजें शॉर्ट थी। कब सोना है, कब उठना है, क्या खाना है, और क्या एक्सरसाइज करनी है।
Hmm.
इफ यू फोकस ऑन दीज 4 top things, whatever you like, if you don't interested in yoga, just walk, at least move your body, just twisting your spine,
Hmm.
यू नो। जब बॉडी थकेगी, चीजें होंगी, तो बॉडी अपने आप ही रेस्ट मांगेगी। एंड यू फील, जब आप ज्यादा थक जाते हो पूरे दिन में, कितनी अच्छी नींद आती है। सो दिस इज द टाइम। आप पूरे दिन बेड पर ही हो, द सिस्टम लाइक द वर्क फ्रॉम होम सिस्टम, पूरे दिन आप बेड पर हो, यू आर ऑन द लैपटॉप जस्ट लाइक अ मशीनरी, यू हैव टेक हम, आपकी बॉडी
Okay.
स्ट्रक्चर पूरा चेंज हो गया है, डार्क सर्कल्स, फेम, आई साइट्स वीक, सब कुछ है। और रात को आप सोते हो तो आपका मन नहीं करता है सोने का, एंड यू आर स्क्रोलिंग लाइक 3 AM और 4 AM, बिकॉज यू कैन क्रिएट दिस हैबिट इन अ डेली हैबिचुअल वे।
Hmm.
एंड वी कैन रिवर्स। हमारे माइंड को नहीं पता है अच्छा बुरा क्या है, हमारे माइंड को ये पता है कि हैबिट क्या है। So we
Hmm.
can reverse the habit in a good way, we can reverse the habit in a bad way. This is our own way. So you have to change, at least give a try for a 1 week, and you can
Hmm.
see the changes in your body, in your mind also.
Right. Hmm.
But the
Exactly,
sleep is
exactly.
very important, very, very important.
So, Wasim, knowingly or unknowingly, you have revealed the four secrets of the happy life
Yeah,
or the happy
yeah,
personality then.
yeah. I
The
think so.
healthy living.
Yeah, the four secrets of the healthy living.
Thank you. So, as you said, the habits are matlab, very important. It can be a good habit or bad habit that delivers you. I mean, that shows what you are exactly. That is what
Yeah.
you're trying to say. So, when you come up with this habit, if you would like to suggest any best practice that can be implemented by the students in their daily life to improve their mental well-being through somehow or the other way. It's not like they have to sit in a garden or they have to like give specific time for it. Just whenever whatever phase they are in, wherever they are in, still they can adopt something that gives them that calmness, that gives them that relaxation. Is there any such technique that you want to suggest to the students
Okay.
through this
Yeah.
webinar?
Yeah. So I'll give you a short practice. I'll suggest you a, it's dedicated to all the students. ये कोई भी कर सकता है, but
Right.
right now I'm dedicated to all the students. आपका कैसा भी है, सडनली चेंज भी पॉसिबल नहीं होता है, जो भी हम पहले डिस्कस कर रहे थे.
Mm.
सडन चेंज इज ऑल्सो अफेक्टिंग योर बॉडी एंड माइंड. वी हैव टू कीप गोइंग स्लोली स्लोली स्लोली. सो द फर्स्ट थिंग व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इन योर लाइफ, जब भी आप सो के उठ रहे हैं, फर्स्ट थिंग, जस्ट कीप अवे फ्रॉम योर मोबाइल्स एंड एनी डिवाइसेस.
Right.
जस्ट कीप रेजोल्यूशन, अपने आप से वादा करो, अपने आप से प्रॉमिस करो, फॉर द फर्स्ट 10 minutes or 15 minutes you never touch your phones or any screening devices. You can sit up, don't be a hurry. आप 6 बजे आपको कहीं जाना है तो आप 5:30 उठो,
Right.
15 मिनट बैठो, just close your eyes. What you have to do first, just close your eyes and feel the gratitude. Just chant the gratitude. Thanks for the life, thanks for the new opportunity, thanks for the new morning. Some gratitude, whatever. आप किसी भगवान को मानते हैं, आप किसी अल्लाह को मानते हैं, जीसस, जिसको भी आप मानते हैं, जस्ट फील कि you can connect it and you can talk and you can feel the gratitude to him. First thing. Second, now you just have to shift the focus to the breathing. The same thing. First, you have to do the natural breathing. You don't need to change any breathing patterns. बस जो भी आपकी breathing, it might be shallow, it might be fast, it might be slow, it might be shattered, but just focus on that. You have to be, आप अलग कर लो अपने आप को अपनी बॉडी से एंड ट्राई टू सी, जस्ट कीप इन अ दृष्टा वे. एक दृष्टा भाव से अपने सांसों को देखना है.
Mm.
और बाय द टाइम 2-3 minutes योर ब्रीदिंग बिकम वेरी स्लो एंड काम. जैसे ही वो स्लो
Right.
एंड काम हो
Mm.
जाती हैं, जस्ट सिट रिलैक्स एंड डू अनुलोम विलोम प्रैक्टिस. Anulom Vilom
Okay.
practice, because why I'm suggesting, there is a lot of practice in breathing techniques and Ashtakumbhak also, pranayama. But किसी की health history देखकर ही वो बताना चाहिए. But Anulom Vilom is the only practice they can do anyone. कोई भी
Okay.
इसे कर सकता है. So what you
Okay.
have to do, just sit calm and quiet. Inhale through the left nostril as much as possible, slow and breathe. And exhale long from the right nostril. Don't be hurry. Just
Mm.
take your time. If you do a 2 cycles, it's okay, but take your time.
Okay.
Inhale through the left, exhale through the right, then inhale through the right and exhale through the left. The
Right.
alternative breathing.
Okay.
Why this is breathing? Because we have two holes, our nose, obviously.
Mm.
So the left one is connected to the right brain,
Mm.
and the right one is connected to the left brain. So sympathetic and parasympathetic brains are connected to the opposite direction. That's why the sign of DNA.
Right.
So when you do the alternative breathing, the nervous systems calm down. You
Mm.
have a good mind oxygen in the early morning. सुबह उठते ही, क्योंकि अभी सुबह उठते क्या है, हमारी आंख ही मोबाइल से खुलती है. व्हाट्स द नोटिफिकेशंस, क्या है,
Right.
कौन से मीटिंग है, किसको मेल
Mm.
डालना है, किसी का मैसेज आया, एनीथिंग, वो अपने आप ही हमारा हाथ चला जाता है. हमारी आंख नहीं खुलती है बट मोबाइल की स्क्रीन ऑन हो जाती है. इफ यू कैन,
Mm.
आप हमें पता भी नहीं होता हम बट ऐसा कर रहे हैं. बट यू हैव टू नोटिस कि ऐसा हो रहा है. जब तक नोटिस नहीं करोगे तो चेंज नहीं हो पाएगा. So you have to
Right.
notice and just टेक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कि 10 मिनट तो मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ, 10 मिनट के बाद कर लूंगा. सो इट्स अ स्मॉल चेंज इन अ हैबिट. तो आपने एक नए हैबिट डेवलप कर लिया है कि अब आप 10 मिनट के लिए, 10 मिनट के बाद आप देख रहे हो मोबाइल, बट इन 10 मिनट, द फर्स्ट 10 minutes, you give focus on your mind and breathing, and this helps you more. So I think,
Right.
yeah, this is the, you can start with this, and
Yeah,
for
small
student this
change
is,
and a
yeah,
big
small
difference.
change, yeah, big difference. Yes.
Absolutely, I agree with it, Wasim. Hope the whoever or watching this webinar definitely will get something out of it.
Yeah,
So
I hope.
please follow and please implement the things as said by Wasim. Any breathing technique that calms you down, you'll get a better result. And just focus on yourself and your breath.
This
And
is
thank
the only
you.
key. This is the
Exactly,
only key.
exactly. Everything is under your control.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wasim. We had
Thank you.
a
Thank
very
you so much.
insightful session.
Yeah.
I just went with the flow, you know. I mean, the topics have been, I mean, we have
Yeah,
a connection.
it's
It
a
was
very
connected
concerning, and it's
naturally.
also the connecting with the natural flow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back to back, we got connected to that and we got the on ground practical knowledge also and on ground scenario uh, solutions also, how we can do it and how we can implement it. There is no science behind it. We don't require any rocket science to do all these things. I
Yes,
thought I
yes,
got it.
yes,
Very
yes.
simple, very easy, but with a great impact. That's what I really understood. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.